Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen for review today. Now this is a Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore, and I'd like to thank John from stjohnspens.com for loaning me this pen for review. So my thanks go out to John. This pen is being returned to John very soon. So I think let's have a look at this box. It says Leonardo Officina Italiana. And you can see here, it's quite a lovely looking box, or sleeve I should say. Now if I remove the outer sleeve, there is another box, and it says Leonardo Officina Italiana in black, which I do like the look of. It's quite glossy and embossed. And if I remove that box, you'll see another box. And if I open that box, the clamshell, you'll see here Leonardo Officina Italiana, and this is the Furore in the orange. So let's remove this pen from its bed and zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. And here you'll see the lovely Furore. Now I'm going to show you up close here. This material actually has a lot of depth going on in it. It actually has sort of like these air bubbles that are sort of almost wanting to penetrate the surface, but they're not on the surface, they're underneath. So you can see the chatoyance going on there in that cap, but you can also see that there is a lot of depth with this pen, and you can see there again on that sort of blind cap, it really does have a lot of shine there and chatoyance. So this is quite a nice pen. If I unscrew it, you'll see here it has a Leonardo Officina Italiana medium steel nib, and it's a gold plated nib, but it's a steel nib with an ABS plastic feed. You'll also notice if I unscrew the body here that it is a cartridge converter, and you'll see here it's branded Leonardo Officina Italiana, which I always think is a nice touch. Now this converter is threaded, so you have to unscrew Leonardo converters. The only exception to that, it actually is probably two exceptions. One is the Grande, which you cannot unscrew, and then the other exception are the piston version pens, which clearly don't have a converter in. Now, Leonardo have actually changed the way that they put their nibs into the pens, and I'll show you here. You can actually remove the nib and swap it out. So I'm just going to grip very loosely and just unscrew, and there you have it. That is the nib unit, and all you need to do is just grip very lightly and just screw or unscrew. But for me, that is a great addition, because my earlier Memento Zeros did not, unfortunately, have a screw-in nib unit, so you had to actually pull them out friction fit. The other thing to mention also is that with this pen you can access the cartridge converter by the way of the blind cap. You will obviously not be able to see how much ink you have left in the converter, but you can do. Now in terms of the size of my hand, this is actually quite a nice size pen. Now you can also post the cap, and that works pretty well as well. The cap is very, very light. It's not back weighted in any way. But for me, that is actually a good fit. And a good weight as well. But you can see here, without the cap, it's still a very nice size. So if you have smaller hands, you'll find that probably your hand will be something like that. If you have larger hands, probably you'll have it somewhere like that. So for me, it's actually quite good. I do like the sizes of the sections. They are more of a fluted section here. Sometimes I tend to prefer slightly wider sections, so I tend to hold them up a little bit more on the threads here, just to give a little bit more thickness to the section of the pen. But other than that, this is a really nice looking Leonardo, and I do like the Leonardos. So I think with that, let's do a size and weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So in terms of size, we are looking at around about 145 millimeters in length, and the cap is around 66 millimeters in length. And we'll check a measurement to the tip of the tines. If the pen doesn't roll away, we are looking at around about 131 millimeters in length. And we'll do a weight check. So the full weight of the pen, uninked, we're looking at just over 25 grams. The weight of the cap is just under 7.5 grams. And then the weight of the body, we're looking at just over 17.5 grams. But that for me is actually a very nicely weighted pen. And it's a really nice looking pen. And I do like orange pens. Now this is a medium nib, and I have not actually written with a Leonardo medium nib before. But we're going to ink this up with a nice orange ink. And then we'll do a writing sample, but first we'll do a pen comparison. So from left to right, we have a Pelikan M600 turquoise white, we have a Pelikan M805 ocean swirl, we have a Pinida Legrande Belitza in the rhodolite, we have a Pilot Vanishing Point, which is a black and gold trim version, we have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Hawaii, we have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore in the orange. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Grande Sand. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. We have a Visconti Calido Voyager in the Yellow Dawn. And we have a Scribo Feel in the Verde Prato. So let's do a writing sample. So I've inked this up with an orange ink. So this is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore, and this is in the orange version. Now the nib in here is a medium, but it's a steel nib. But this still writes very nice. It's actually a Bock nib. And the ink in here that I have inked up today is Sailor Gentle Apricot. You can also get a very similar version of this, almost identical, called Sailor Gentle Kin Makusai, which is actually a lot more easier to get hold of. The Sailor Gentle Apricot is I think only available in the US now, and it's very, very difficult to get hold of. Again, unfortunately, it went out of production for a few years, then came back, and unfortunately, it's Kimakusai is actually replacing it. Now, in terms of line variation, it is a medium nib, and it's a steel nib. So you can push it a little bit more, but you're not going to get a lot of line variation out of this nib because it is a steel nib and a medium nib. In terms of wetness, now orange inks tend not to be super wet, and it's just the nature of the inks. But you can see there though that ink is still, and that nib combination is still quite wet. So for me, this is actually a really good writer. I do have the medium in a gold nib on another pen, on one of my Momento Zeros, but I haven't had a medium steel nib before. This nib writes flawlessly. I can't fault it in any way. There's no hard starts or skips. It actually writes really nice. And I think this orange ink from Sailor Gentle Apricot is actually a really, really nice combination to actually match with this pen. You could also match another ink like Pelikan, Edelstein, Mandarin if you wanted to. So I'd like to thank John from stjohnspens.com again for graciously loaning me this pen for review. He's at all of the UK pen shows in 2020 and quite a lot of the European pen shows in 2020. If you can't wait until then do go check his website out at stjohnspens.com. Tell him I sent you, and I'm sure he'll give you a good deal. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.